Hi, Jeannie. And hi, Mike. If you see this, hello. I miss you. I miss both of you. Yeah, so here's a video for all the techniques and things that we've kind of discussed in these first two lessons. So let's just start with kind of the basic left hand techniques for adding a little bit more movement in our playing. We know that a basic bum ditty, that's kind of boring, and we can add a lot more movement into it by just adding some simple things. So we can start with like a hammer-on the second fret. I'm going to be using the first string second fret. And then that automatically changes it from bum-ditty to kind of bumpa-ditty, or one and two and this is pretty typical of the round peak style. We don't really do like, that's more like folky, Pete Seegery. But yeah, the one and two and the constant stream of notes, it's almost like bluegrass banjo. So hammer-on is a good way to fill in that space. And conversely, you can do a pull-off, which is the opposite. So a little bit of hammer-on and pull-off. I know that's kind of fast, but I think you get the point. I'll do it one more time, a little slower. Okay, and then we have a really great technique that's pretty reminiscent of the way Kyle Creed would play, is what's called the double thumb. And so we just double up our thumb on the fifth string. And so instead of being bum-ditty, we fill in that space with another fifth string. Bum-ba-ditty. And that just automatically gives it a lot more movement. It's pretty easy to drop that in pretty much anywhere there's a space. Say, I don't know how to make this sound more full. Just start double thumbing. We also can do a drop thumb, which is, it fills that same gap, but we actually are using our thumb on a different string. So here it is on the second string. A little bit closer on the hand there. And you don't always have to revert back to the fifth string. You can actually just stay on those two. Or there's the third string there. So whatever you want to do there. And like I mentioned in the class, we can actually reverse the order. So the first fifth string, or the first and one and is actually on the fifth string. And then we do the drop thumb at the end of the measure. So a little bit slower. And remember, the standard bum-ditty is double thumb is this. A normal drop thumb would be something like this. And then we can reverse that drop thumb. That was what I just played. We can reverse the drop thumb. Take two. Okay, and that is almost all for the techniques. There's a couple more that are kind of really characteristic of the round peak sound. I don't want this video to get too long, but I also want to make sure you have the materials to practice what we talked about. One other thing, just to briefly mention, remember that fretless banjos are super common in this style of music, and slides are really characteristic of the sound. So anywhere, instead of doing hammer-ons and pull-offs, if you can, try to put a slide instead. And anywhere that we have an open string, instead of playing second string there, you can slide into that. Or first string, instead of playing open, we can slide up to the third. So an example would be maybe something like Reuben. I think that's how it goes. I haven't played this one in a while, but let's see. And that's without any slides at all. And that sounds kind of square, kind of lame. And then you go into kind of fretless mode and start adding slides. And suddenly that sounds a lot more like it should. So the slides are a big part of the round peak sound too. And then the two last techniques that are maybe I don't want to say more advanced because that sounds kind of scary, but the two techniques that are a little bit maybe not as easy as the others. That sounds kind of scary too, but just get that out of your head. Forget I said anything. We have the open string pull off. So basically, all we're doing is this: we're plucking the string. It could be first string, could be second string, could be third string. Usually with our middle finger, we're going to pluck the strings with our left hand. So that's the difference here. And where is this? This happens on the and. So 1 and 2 and the and of 1, which would be like the bump-ditty. So normal bum-ditty. And we're going to plug in this left hand pluck right after the first note. And it sounds a little bit better if you play another string. So like the second string. And play another string with the right hand, that is. So second string or third string. And that's really nice for like when you finish the phrase. Often at the end of a fiddle tune, there's maybe like a half a measure or a whole measure before it goes back around. So, and in this kind of blank space at the end, you can just plug that in and then repeat the melody, or repeat the A part or the B part, whatever. And then finally we have this lick is a little bit different, and it's kind of more percussive with the right hand, but this is what's called the Galax lick. And the way we do this is basically we just drive through. It could be 2 strings, it could be 3 strings, it could be 4 strings, and then end on a 5th string note. So here's with 2 strings, sounds like this. With 3 strings, with 4 strings. So this is kind of like an arpeggio, but you know, Tommy Jarrell, all the old timers, they would never use that word arpeggio. They would say Galax lick. Or probably even, they don't even have a name for that. But today we're calling it the Galax lick. So, and it's really common to use this with 2 strings. So brush through the B and the D, and then end on the 5th string. And the trick here is doing it in time. These have to be 8th notes. They have to follow the time of whatever piece we're in. So 1 and 2. That's, you want to follow that rhythm, and it's kind of tricky. You have to get that in your head that these are in time. So if you play 3, so 1. When you start adding 3 or 4 strings, you have to kind of anticipate beforehand, when do I start this so I can land in time? So that's probably the trickiest part about using that Galax lick, is just kind of knowing when to start it, when to anticipate it. And that's why it's a little bit easier to use just 2 strings. And that's the way I start the John Brown's Dream, and that's the way a lot of people will start this tune. And what I just did there is the same Galax lick, but I've added a slide 2nd to 5th, and that's a really cool sound. And you could hear and see that there was a lot of sliding and hammer-ons. Left hand's pretty busy in this style of music, and that just really fills out the sound a lot. So maybe in that example, replay it if you want. Watch kind of carefully both right and left hands. There was a lot of right hand just moving, and some drop them in. So pretty much constant. There's never really just a basic bum-ditty in this style of music if you wanna get that good round peaky sound. Yeah. So that's probably enough for this video. It's kind of long, and I'll send you a couple more about playing up the neck and C and G tunings, and another video about that cool drop C tuning that we were working with. So yeah, I'm gonna cut this and then record something else.